Today is Success Mentorship Class number 206. Success Mentorship Class number 206. So the topic for today is, what is your vision? Success Mentorship Class number 206. And the title is, what is your vision? As you know, all of our lectures, all of our classes are based on our book, The 12 Universal Laws of Success. And it's available on Amazon. It's available on our own website, herbertharris.com, and almost all the digital sites in the world. Also, I want to make an announcement. We are beginning this new year with a series of classes that are designed to help you position yourself for an incredibly successful and outrageously successful year. And so each topic builds on the one before and gives you an additional tool. One of the tools that we have created that I hope each and every one of you has the opportunity to enjoy is our home study course, the New You for the New Year home study course. It's designed to help you do 4 things: assess where you are, fix whatever needs fixing, set new goals, and then get busy getting it done. So go to our website, herbertharris.com, learn some more about it. We're in the pre-launch phase, but be sure to click on the link to get more information. So now that we have done all the stuff that has to be done at the beginning, let me admit one other person to our group. Let us now do our meditation so that we can put ourselves in the proper framework to get the work done today and to receive the message. So sit straight up in your seats, feet flat on the floor. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Let it out slowly. Take a deep breath. Let it out slowly. I am at peace with myself. Let us affirm that together. I am at peace with myself. Take a deep breath. Let it out slowly. And let that peace sink in. And in this state of peace and relaxation, our minds are open, receptive, and ready to learn. My mind is open, receptive, and ready to learn. Let us affirm that together. My mind is open, receptive, and ready to learn. Take a deep breath. Let it out slowly. Woo! Okay. Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is an exciting day. You know, one of the lessons that we must learn in life is to always roll with the punches. You know, the power outage, the blip in the electrical system was just a test of all of us to say, you got to be able to roll with the punches. Whatever it is, you have the ability to overcome it and do what you must do. This topic for today is particularly interesting because we're at a point right now as we begin this new year where it is important to see where we're going, where it is important to know where we are going. And so that's why this topic, vision, was chosen. I love to open with a quote, and motivational speaker Simon Sinek said, greatness starts with a clear vision of the future. Greatness starts with a clear vision of the future. So each of us this year, as we're preparing to make this our year for outrageous success, must realize that greatness starts with the vision we have of the life we would like to experience. We're going to look at three areas today. Number one, what is vision? Number two, why is it important? And then number three, how to develop your vision. Thank you, Rodney, for joining us. Shakeem Muhammad, yes, thank you for joining us. Dr. Mansa Musa, thank you. Shada Tavia, so many of you on Instagram and on Facebook. We are looking at this topic because today, as we go forth into the new year, it is important that we know where we're going. You know, we're on this journey. And when you go on a journey in your car, you have a GPS to guide you. I don't know if you all can hear the chimes in the background. I have these beautiful wind chimes outside my studio, and the wind is so strong, it's about 25 miles outside. I can hear it. I don't know if you can hear it. Let me just be quiet for a moment. Let's see if you can hear it. When you know it, the wind stopped blowing. All right. So the three questions: what is vision, why it is important, and how to develop your vision. Let's look at the definition of vision. Vision is a faculty or state of being able to see, a state of being able to see. Yes. So you can hear them. Thank you. What a background, right? A vision is also your ability to think about and plan for the future with imagination and wisdom. So vision, if we look at life as a journey and we have a GPS to guide us, the vision is your destination. And with any GPS, it requires two things. It requires a destination and it requires a location. And so when we look at how we're going to perform this year, we must look at where we want to go, our vision, the vision we have of the life we would like to experience, and we must examine where we are right now so that we have a good understanding of what we have to do to get from where we are to where we want to go. And that is why that New You for the New Year home study course is so important, because it gives you a way to work at it at your own pace to develop your track to run on. So in a sense, your vision is the representation of, in your own mind, of the life you would like to experience. Your vision is the representation, what you see in your mind's eye, of the life you would like to experience. So let's put this in context. If you have no vision for your future, where do you end up? And that is why this entire lesson is so important. Without vision, the Bible is very clear. It says, where there is no vision, the people perish. Where you have no vision, you fail. And when we really look at the translation, perish really means where you have no vision, then you will not accomplish that you were placed here on the planet to accomplish. Each of us was born with a purpose. Trust me. Life is so challenging and so complex that it didn't just happen. There's a divine purpose. And so the fact that you're alive means that you're put here to do something important. And so if you have no vision, then you are not being aware of your purpose, the reason for your being here. And so with no vision, then you end up wherever life wants to take you. We love to look at life as your journey on the river of time. The river of time flows into the ocean of eternity. And so your life is your experience and your interpretation of your journey on the river of time. If you have no vision, no destination, then as a boat on the river of time, you just simply float along. Although you are equipped by the nature of your creation, you are equipped with the ability to have a vision and to go for it. But if you have no destination, no vision, then you are surrendering your God-given gift to determine the life you experience. If you have no vision, you are surrendering your God-given gift to determine the life you wish to experience. I loved Alice in Wonderland. You know, many people thought of that as a children's story. Lewis Carroll wrote that. But when you really look at that and you get an understanding of what he's really talking about, there's a passage that he says, if you don't know where you are going, any road will take you there. If you have no vision of the life you want to experience, then the world mind, the time mind, other people will determine your destination. Vision is personal. You know, vision is that thing that really separates you from everything else. You have to have your own vision. You cannot live a life of somebody else's vision. Now, many of us have gone through that. Many of us try to live a life based on somebody else's vision of who we should be. You don't have to fess up to me, but fess up to yourself. Are you living a life based on somebody else's expectations? Don't beat yourself up about it, because many of us do. But the point is to realize it, to recognize it, and say, you know, I got to change. You see, if you don't develop your own vision, then other people and circumstances will control where your life goes. There's a story of a couple, a married couple, and they were sleeping one night. When they woke up in the morning, the husband said to the wife, he said, you know, you were so smiling and seemed so peaceful as you were sleeping last night. What was it? She said, I had a dream. And he said, well, tell me about it. She said, I saw myself in a beautiful red Mercedes convertible, and my hair was blowing in the wind, and I was just having a great time. And he said, oh, wow, that's incredible. The next night, same thing happened. And he said to her, I said, well, what was your dream last night? She said, oh, I dreamed of having a beautiful home by the sea, overlooking the cliffs and the ocean. And he said, you know, 2 nights you told me about your dream. Where do I fit in? Where am I in your dream? You never said anything about me. And she said, well, it's my dream. You have to have your own dream. And so that is the way it is in life. You can't live somebody else's dream. You have to have your own dream. And so that's why this lesson is so important. If you do not have a dream of your own, it's almost the law of the vacuum. You will attract other people's dreams into your life. You know, when I practiced law, I represented a pickpocket, a thief. And he finally got caught after years. And I said, well, man, how do you pick a victim? How do you decide whose pocket to pick? He said, I watch them. I see how they move, how they look around. And so when you don't have a vision, you are a boat upon the river of time that has a rudder but does not use it, that has a crew but does not use it, that has sails but do not use it. And thus you experience somebody else's dream, somebody else's vision. So let's look at this. So if vision is personal, let's look at what is vision. And we're dealing now, for those of you who have your book, we're dealing with chapter 3 in the 12 Universal Laws of Success, the Law of Vision. And it opens saying that where there is no vision, the people perish. Where you have no vision, you fail. The vision you have of your life must be crystal clear in your mind. As Simon Sinek said, greatness starts with a clear vision of the future. And so this vision thing now is critical. If this is to be your year for outrageous success, this vision must be so clear in your mind that it forms a blueprint. As we go on, the nature of vision has two aspects. Vision has the aspect of specificity, which means the vision is based on where you are and the clarity with which you understand where you are and where you want to go. Specificity. So everybody says, well, I want to be happy. Okay, well, happy is a vision. But what does that mean? What are the details of your happiness? Well, happiness may mean financial security. Happiness may mean good relationships. And so the vision is where you have a detailed understanding of what you want your life to be. The other aspect of vision is imagination. So the vision is an understanding, the specificity portion of it says you're aware of who you are, but the imagination part says you're also aware of what you can become. So that vision, that vision that you have is the connection between understanding where you are, but the imagination aspect of it takes you beyond your own capacity so that you can see more than you've seen before, so that you can dream bigger than you've dreamed before. Because your imagination, Albert Einstein said, your imagination is more powerful than knowledge because it is unfettered, it is unchained. Imagination is infinite. Anything you can imagine, you can become. So this vision is a combination of specificity and imagination. In this chapter, we go on and talk about the fact that the relationship between your vision, once you have a clear vision, then you can make goals. If you have no vision, then it's not really effective to make goals. Helen Keller, a lady who was blind, had a beautiful quote, and she said, the only thing worse than being blind is having sight, but no vision. The only thing worse than being blind is having sight, but no vision. So this idea of developing your vision is really about having a picture that goes beyond the physical experience that you're having right now. Vision is beyond the physical act of seeing. Vision is a vibration. When we talk about the theory of relativity, E equals mc squared. E is energy, M is manifestation. So vision is a manifestation. And so there's a corresponding energy, a corresponding vibration that connects with your vision. And so the moment you have a vision, then you are literally creating the vibrations that will attract that vision into your space. So your vision embodies not only who you are, not only what you do, but it also embodies what you are becoming. It's a continuous transformation. So as you can see more, you can be more. Your vision also embodies who you will ultimately be. Your legacy. So when we think about this now, how do we move from it? This is what a vision is. How do we move to create that vision, to develop our vision? There's a great quote, Richard Boyantis said, We become what we dream. If we have no vision, we have no dream, then there's nothing to become. And so vision helps us transfer the dreams we have into the life we experience. The clearer your vision, the more you are able to align yourself with what you were really put here to do. So often we get so tied up in the circumstances, our situation, that we forget who we are. We forget our destiny. We forget that we are the created beings of a divine mind, a divine presence. You know, it's like the prodigal son. When the prodigal son lost his way and lost his money and found himself in the pig pens of life, his ability to pull it together came from him saying, I will arise, I will change my thinking, and I will move towards my father. I will go to my father, I will go to my source. And so when we have a vision, the circumstances of life may cloud our ability to see the vision, but if we keep working at it, we can align ourselves and say, hey, I was put here for a purpose. I know it was a good purpose. All the stuff that's going on in my life right now, I can change it. I can change my thinking. So let's look at some of the questions. You know, as an attorney, when you try a case, you have a plaintiff and a defendant, and each one is trying to paint a picture for the jury that the jury will buy into. So if you're representing a man or a woman who's been accused of a crime, as the lawyer, you want to paint a picture that says to the jury that they didn't do it. As a prosecutor, you want to paint a picture that says that they did do it. And the key in a trial to developing the picture that the jury will ultimately act on is the questions that you ask. To develop your purpose, there are a number of questions. I'm throwing some out there to you. But there are questions that you can ask to help you find the real you. You see, the experience of life is often like piling stuff on us. You know, as a child, the first words we learn are no, stop, and don't. Then you add shut up. Then you get into bad relationships. You get into trauma. And so all this stuff is piled on top of you. Bad relationships, failures, disappointments. And all those things hurt us. All those things make us feel something inside. And so it's all piled up on you. And the only way to get it off is to start asking those questions that make you see what's real and what is not. There's 7 questions I like to ask that we can ask to help us develop our vision. Number 1, who am I? Who is the person that says, this is me? Who am I? Critical. Number 2, what do you want? A part of that, what do you want, is what brings you joy. And I'm putting the time here because this process of developing your vision is not an overnight thing. It's an evolutionary process. And so I ask you, take these questions and get into them. Take the time to ask. You know, sometimes, who am I? Well, I'm obviously who I am. But as you begin to ask behind the question, you'll get a deeper understanding. Who am I? What do I want? What brings me joy? Question number 2, what do I want? Question number 3, what is important to me? Is it important to me that I be a helper? That I be a servant leader? That I be a good parent? That I provide for myself, my family? What is important to me? Now, the 4th question is a good one. What do I want more of? What do I want more of? Wow. That's a question, because so often we get so involved with what we have and the negative things that we have. We get so involved with the weeds of life that we don't say, well, what flowers would I like to bring into my life? What would I like more of? Put some time into that. The 5th question, What are my values? Am I a liar? Am I a truthful person? Am I a thief? Or am I honest? What are my values? What are the things? What is the rudder that guides my life? So that when I give my word, a person says, if Herbert Harris gives you his word, you can bank on it. What are my values? The sixth question, what are my talents? Many times when you look at your life, you get so involved with the circumstances and the situations that you're going through that you take your eyes off what you can grow to. Let's say that again. Many times in life, we get so involved with the situations you're going through that you don't focus on the possibilities that you can grow to. So what are your talents? Everybody has talents. Maybe we suppressed them. Maybe when we were children, people weren't supportive of our talents. All of us have talents. So what are my talents? Maybe your talent is just making people feel comfortable. That's a powerful talent. Maybe your talent is working hard and diligently. Maybe your talent is being kind. What are my talents? And then finally, that seventh question. What is my legacy? What do I want my life to have stood for? So often, you know, when you go to a funeral and you see the sunrise and sunset, and those are two dates, but what transpired between the sunrise and the sunset? What is your legacy? So these questions you work at, I'll go over quick. Who am I? What do I want? What is important to me? What do I want more of? What are my talents? And what is my legacy? So these are the questions that can guide you to develop your vision so that it can be crystal clear. You know, the Habakkuk, one of the shortest books in the Bible, it says something very powerful. It says, write the vision and make it plain upon tablets, for they may run that readeth it. So if you don't have a written vision, to run that readeth it means that a plan. And so the idea of developing this vision is so critical, because once you have that vision, then you can make a plan. It says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time. The fact that you have a vision, now you plug into the vibration of that vision, but you must have it and relate to it first and connect. Though it may tarry, it will surely come to pass. So this is a promise that if you have a vision, if you take the time and develop the vision of what you want your life to be, that if you write it down, that if you make a plan to accomplish it, that if you get into the vibration and the nature of your vision, it will surely come to pass. So the last portion today is to talk about a process. You know, we have the questions, we have what it is and why it is. What's the process for you to follow to help you develop your vision? I call it a 7-step process. Number one, you got to want it badly. You know, after this pandemic, we have this great resignation, and somebody said, well, I don't understand it, why people don't want to work. And, you know, the negative people have all these explanations. But what has happened in the pandemic is many of us were forced to disconnect from the system that had been feeding us for so long and take a look at that system in a very critical way. And many people ask the question, there's got to be more to life than this. There must be more to my life than going to work and back and forth every day for a take-home pay that barely gets me home. So if you want to determine your vision and create that vision with such specificity that it will be the blueprint for your life, you got to want it back. Number two, You got to set aside the time to do this, to ask these questions. You can't just pass over this stuff lightly. You have to set aside the time to think. You have to set aside the time to ask these questions. And there are many others. There are many other questions. But you have to set aside the time to really get into this, because this is like sharpening the axe. Someone said, if you want to cut a tree down, you spend 90% of the time sharpening the axe and 10% cutting it down. So you have to set aside the time to sharpen your spiritual, your mental, and your emotional axe. Number 3, you've got to be honest with yourself. You see, the vision is a manifestation of your purpose. If you're not honest with yourself, you can never see who you really are. That first question, who am I? If you have defined yourself in terms of other people's expectations, you'll never find out who you really are. So you have to be honest with yourself. There are a lot of things about ourselves that we don't want to face. We may forget it. We may flee it. We may ignore it. We may avoid it. But we will only go through it when we grow through it, when we face it. So be honest with yourself. Number 4, to ask the right questions. Now, these 7 questions that we gave are now in the context of this process. So once you want it badly, you've set aside the time, you're honest with yourself, now you're ready to really ask those questions, because you've prepared your mindset and your habit set to really get the right answers. Number 5, to really create a vision of what your best life is. That's a critical point, folks. We have to see beyond our limitations and beyond our situations to what we can be. You often, I was listening to a story, I think it was Michael B. Jordan, the actor, and he was saying how his desire to be an actor was so profound that he slept in his car because he didn't want to take the time away to make a living, to have an apartment. He said, I'll sleep in my car so that I'll have total attention to my craft. Tyler Perry did the same thing. Hugh Hefner, when he was building Playboy, founding Playboy magazine, he made the choice. He said, forget it, I don't need an apartment. I'll get an office and live in my office. My life will be totally devoted to creating the vision I have. So create a vision of what is your best life. Your best life personally. What does it look like? Your best life family-wise. How do you see your family? Your best life professionally. How do you see your job, your means of making a living? Your best life financially, where you have more money at the end of the month, where money is not an issue. Your best life spiritually, where you recognize that you're a spiritual being having a physical experience. Your best life community. How do you fit in to be a value and an asset to your community? The 6th step is to work backward. Oh, Dr. Harris, what do you mean work backward? You know, scripture always says, go and see the promised land, survey the promised land, walk the width and breadth of the promised land. But the most effective way to create your vision is, you know, faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. So your vision is something that is not manifested. But if you assume, as they say, assume the position, assume the reality. There's a scripture that says he talks of those things that are not as though they are. And so look at your vision as though it already has manifested and work backwards. So if your vision, you want to get your degree from college, well, work backward. What does it take to get that degree? Well, it means that you must have completed your studies at a certain level. Okay. So then what do I have to do to complete my studies at a certain level? I got to take the proper classes. I have to put in the time. And you work it all the way back. What are the habits I have to develop to bring about the results I desire? Well, you got to, function on the clock. You got to get proper rest so you don't sleep in class. You got to get proper diet so you don't feel tired. What are the relationships that I need to bring this thing about? I need to have good relationships with my teachers, with my classmates, with people who can help me accomplish what I want to do. What are the things that, the changes in thoughts that you must have to create the vision that you desire and act accordingly? When we start this backwards planning process, to start with the end in mind, and then ask these questions: what do I have to do to bring about this step? And then what do I have to do to bring about that step? That's called planning backwards, working with the end in mind. And then finally, the 7th step is to keep going and growing, to make a commitment, to make it real. Commit to realizing and developing your vision. Commit to say, I will come out of this period in which I am looking and working to find my vision with a written statement of what my vision is in every detail, because you can hit a target that you can see. But also understand it's an evolutionary process. You don't determine your whole vision like this is my vision forever. That you bring about a vision at a particular point in your level of consciousness. So you see a vision at this point, A, it's like going up the mountain of consciousness. And as you see that vision and you manifest it and you work on it, you see more. Each time you rise the level of consciousness, every time you can see more, then you can be more. The moment you be more, you can see more. And so your vision is expanded through your imagination and through your exposure. So when we say keep going and growing, to be committed to do new things, to go new places, to go the extra mile, because the more you can see, the more you can be. Whew. So folks, today's class of what is your vision? Sum it up. Your vision is what you see for yourself, the life that you would like to experience, your best life. Why is your vision important? Because where there's no vision, you perish. Where there's no vision, you cannot align yourself with the reason for your creation. How do you develop your vision? You develop your vision by wanting it badly, by setting aside the time to investigate and follow through, by being honest with yourself that you really want this deep inside, by asking those questions that probe who you are, what you want, what's important to you, what do you want more of, what are your values, what are your talents, what is your legacy? By really focusing on your best life, the promised land, with such intensity that it cannot fail to happen. And then to work backwards. Going back, you can go back to your source when you understand where you are, to take that vision and work as though it has already manifested and do the actions that will bring about that manifestation, and finally keep going and growing. When you can do these things, then you can create a vision of who you want to be, create a vision of what you want to do, create a vision of having the things you desire to have, always knowing that the best is yet to come. So it is. Whew. Folks, thank you so much for being with us today. This lesson is one I hope you take and listen to it over and over again, and don't be discouraged. Don't be disappointed. It doesn't happen overnight. That time allotment is critical. But the key point is you keep working at it. Be sure, if you don't have a copy of the 12 Universal Laws of Success, be sure to get one. Because this book is your recipe book to guide you from where you are to where you want to be. And check out, be sure to look at our home study course. It gives you a personal course that you can work with at your pace to create the person you want to be in this new year, to help you assess where you are, to help you address the things that need to be changed, to help you set those goals that will lead you to your vision and help you develop that vision that your goals will bring you to, and to help you be committed to always go and grow, always knowing that the best is yet to come. Be sure to go to our website, www.herbertharris.com, to get more information about our books, about the home study course. That's www.herbertharris.com. And so in the words of me, you can be what you want to be. You can do what you want to do. You can have whatever you want to have, always knowing that the best is yet to come. And so it is.